If you're eating healthy, fasting, and working out somewhat consistently, yet you're still not seeing the results that you want, there's a high chance that the reason you're not losing weight has a lot to do with your hormones, your metabolism, or even your understanding of more advanced nutritional topics for people who have done a lot of diets in the past, especially if you're getting older. You know, I've had clients who were in their 50s, their 40s, and even in their 30s already noticing that their body doesn't work the same as it did in their 20s. That means that a lot of the popular diets out there, like low carb, keto, intermittent fasting, that somebody in their 20s has the resilience and the testosterone levels and the low enough cortisol stress hormone to respond well to it, isn't necessarily something that you're going to respond well to in your 30s, 40s, or 50s. Again, everybody's different, but if you've tried these things and they did not work for you, there's a high chance that it's a little bit too much stress on your body. You see, believe it or not, you do need a little bit of carbohydrates, actually a decent amount of carbohydrates, which is kind of good news as well, to actually get the best recovery and control your cortisol, your stress hormone. Now, it doesn't mean to eat too many carbs, otherwise you're going to develop bloating, insulin resistance, all that stuff. So there's always a balance, and it needs to be the right type of carbs. But I see people who always restrict their carb because it worked for them in their 20s, maybe in their 30s, but now they're in their late 30s or their 40s or their 50s, or even in their early 30s, they just did it through all their 20s and it's not working anymore. And so you have to do something different. You have to finally learn how nutrition works instead of following these overly simplified basic beginner protocols like low carb and fasting. So if the problem is the fact that as we get older, our cortisol goes up, our muscle mass and metabolism and testosterone go down, which further slows down your metabolism, and our goal is to lower cortisol, raise metabolism, raise muscle mass, raise testosterone, here's how to build a balanced diet. Number one, you have to make sure that you're strength training 3 days a week and consuming enough protein. If you don't do these things, you'll never be able to lose weight as easily as you did 10 to 20 years ago. So it's not about eating less and less and less. It's actually sometimes about eating more when it comes to lean proteins. Likewise, once we've got the lean proteins established, we also want to be eating enough complex carbohydrates, right? You don't want to just do low carb, and a lot of these low carb people end up eating too much fat anyways. No, we want to get enough lean proteins, complex carbs, but here's where you need to restrict it. The fats, okay? Now you do need some fats for normal biological function, but it's a lot less than most people think. And even the lean protein sources like chicken breast, 50 grams of protein is still going to come with 5 grams of fat. So you're still getting a little bit of fats. You can supplement omega-3s, which is the only fat that's actually essential. Of course, you do need some other fat for other reasons, but again, most people are really over-consuming their fats. Likewise, when it comes to sugar, it's not that sugar is necessarily inherently bad, at least as long as it's not processed sugar, but the problem is these things are not going to satiate you for long enough. You're going to get hungry. It could mess with your hormones, your cortisol, your blood sugar could be inconsistent. If you have insulin resistance, which a lot of older people have, especially as you lose muscle mass and you have chronic compounding bad habits, et cetera, well, we might need to be careful with that as well. And that's why the complex carbs, the slow releasing carbs, are always better. So we've talked a little bit about training, a little bit about diet. The last component is you need to make an active effort to go for walks, have an adequate step count, and actually get 10K steps a day. Okay, a big reason why people who maybe are eating the same or even less than they did when they were younger start gaining a bunch of weight. Yes, it's partially the loss of metabolism, you know, the loss of muscle, the hormonal shifts, etc., the stress. But a lot of it too is we become less active when we get so busy. You know, when you're young in your early 20s, you're playing sports, you're walking a lot, you're going on all these adventures because you're single or you're newly married, you don't have kids yet, or you only have one kid. But when you're older and you got 4 kids who all need you, you're trying to provide for everybody, etc., you have a lot less time. So naturally, you start walking less. So we have to make a conscious effort to go for walks, because once all your kids leave the nest, you're still going to have to build that habit, because even though you're going to have all this free time, you've gotten this habit of just being sedentary, sitting around. So between these 3 things, strength training, adequate nutrition, and walking, and then understanding these things at a deeper level and tailoring it to you, this is going to help you to finally see the results that you want. Now, I know that these are 3 very high-level things. And look, if you're just watching videos on Instagram, learning some random tips here and there from this influencer, that influencer, before you scroll, you do need some more comprehensive help. Because if you keep going the way that you've been going and just watching random videos, taking a couple tips here and there, but only kind of half applying them for an inconsistent and short period of time, you're not really going to see the results that you want. You need a tailored plan, you need accountability, you need daily communication, you need somebody who's going to make sure that you follow the whole process, the whole system for a period of enough time, at least 12 weeks, so you see the results. You need that transformation period, but you also need long-term habits that you're going to build during that temporary transformation period so you can maintain the transformation instead of just some quick fix diet where you come off of it and you gain all the weight back. So if you want all that, just comment or DM with the word coaching. I'll send you more details on what we do, the different results we've provided for our clients by the permission of Allah, and you can see if it resonates with you and whether it's something that you'd like to move forward with. And from there, if it is, you can book a consultation to speak to me personally or a friendly expert member of my team. We'll see you on the other side, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.